Hi everyone, and welcome to another Software and Internet Monthly Market Report brought to you by Sanford Advisors for the month of February 2022. It was another very big month in the M&A markets with $11.5 billion invested in February. Less transactions than we've seen recently, which we'll talk about later, at 118 transactions for the month, and a median revenue multiple across all transactions of 4.5 times revenue, which we'll talk about later. Obviously some very large transactions, the largest of which was Clearlake acquiring Quest for $5.4 billion. Hexagon also acquired ETQ for $1.2 billion as well. And then Sophie acquired Technisys for $1.1 billion. So lots of transactions that were, obviously very large and driving that kind of annual deal volume. You can really see that on this page with, if you analyze what's going on. Obviously, the non-SaaS volume is very distorted because of Activision's $69 billion deal last month, but we're on pace for a really good start to 2022, and it looks like that's going to continue. Obviously, the number of transactions is down just a little bit from 2,300 to kind of annualized to 1,900, but obviously lots of the year still to go, so we'll see where everything comes out, but a very strong start to the year nonetheless. In terms of spread of valuations, it's still a very large spread between the 25th percentile and the 75th percentile, as you can see here, with the 4.8 being at the 25th percentile and the 14 times being at the 75th percentile. And we expect that trend to kind of continue as we head here into the rest of 2022, just given like how buyers are paying for scale and growth at the top end, and discounting those without scale at the bottom end. In terms of the difference between SaaS and non-SaaS, SaaS multiples have continued to kind of rise. So we're the median multiple for the year to date is 12 times. I would expect this to kind of come down. It's obviously elevated by only a few data points. We're only 2 months into the year, obviously, and it doesn't really reflect what's going on in the market. I would say today's market is much more consistent with what we saw in 2021 than another 50% kind of bump in valuations. But we'll kind of see how that kind of pans out. And the same is probably true on the non-SaaS side of things as well, where that's kind of up a 50% over 2021 as well. We'd expect both to kind of normalize as we head into the rest of the year. In terms of number of transactions, we obviously track this quite actively. We've been talking a lot about, transactions usually being between 160 and 190 deals per month. This month was obviously a bit light, but interesting enough, it's a short month, but it's also very consistent with February of 2021. So we're, in February of 2021, there was 121 deals done, and we're at 118. So no cause for concern or indication that the M&A market is slowing down at all. But we'll see. Definitely keep an eye on March and see if that kind of rebounds to historical levels that we've seen over the last 12 months. On the VC side of stuff, another big month as well, 8.6 billion invested, 451 transactions, and the median deal size at 6.5 million. Some large transactions happening with Uniphore that raised 400 million, Branch raised 300 million, Alchemy raised 250 million. So, and led by some really good folks like NEA and Silver Lake. The interesting thing there, only really one disclosed multiple, which was Alchemy at 522 times revenue. So obviously that's skewing things a little bit on the valuation side when we look at the valuation stats. In terms of where that means, 2022 is shaking up pretty consistent with where we would come out last year. Down on the number of transactions, but again, still early in the year. So we'll see where we kind of pan out on this sort of stuff. But a very good start to the year, just like on the M&A side of things. And then valuations, again, it's still a bit early to tell on this, but valuations are definitely down. We're hearing this. We put a blog post out this morning about VC valuations and the impact of the public market's going to have on those. I would say that this trend might actually stick for the rest of the year. So the mid and the late stage deals are down quite a lot, and would expect them to kind of continue about this sort of level. I wouldn't expect it to fall further. But anyway, have a great month. If you have any questions about any of this material, feel free to reach out, or if you want to sign up for our monthly market report, definitely send us a note and we'll get you signed up. Have a great month and see you next month.